He kept a secret from his bride for months. What happened at the altar left everyone speechless. Welcome to our channel where every story brings a little more hope into the world. We're so glad you're here. Before we dive deeper into today's journey, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We love hearing from every corner of the world. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because tomorrow we have another incredible story waiting just for you. Thank you for being part of our storytelling family. Let's make every moment unforgettable together. Tyler was just 16 years old when everything changed. Growing up in a small town in Texas, he had always been full of energy. The kind of boy who could never sit still, always chasing new adventures on his dirt bike, racing through open fields under the endless American sky. It was during one of those carefree rides that fate intervened. A sharp turn, a patch of loose gravel, and in an instant, Tyler's bike skidded out from under him. He crashed hard, breaking his leg in multiple places. At first, everyone thought it was a regular injury. Painful, yes, but nothing that couldn't heal with time. Tyler was strong. He had always bounced back from everything before. But this time was different. As weeks turned into months, his leg refused to heal properly. The pain didn't fade. It grew worse, far beyond what anyone expected. Even the doctors were puzzled. After countless tests and hospital visits, Tyler finally received a diagnosis that none of them had anticipated: reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or RSD, a rare and cruel neurological disorder. RSD is often called the suicide disease because of the intense, relentless pain it causes. For Tyler, the once simple act of moving his leg felt like knives cutting through him. Medications barely dulled the agony. Physical therapy offered little hope. His world shrank to a hospital bed, endless treatments, and a life shadowed by pain. Eventually, after years of struggling, the doctors sat down with Tyler and his family to deliver the heartbreaking truth: the leg could not be saved. Amputation was the only way to end the suffering. It was a decision no teenager should ever have to face, yet Tyler showed a resilience far beyond his years. He chose to move forward. The surgery was brutal, but when it was over, he felt something he hadn't experienced in a long time: relief. For the first time in years, the worst of the pain was gone. Tyler's life was now different in every. He had to learn how to navigate the world from a wheelchair. Everyday tasks became new challenges. But if you met Tyler, you wouldn't see defeat in his eyes. You'd see a spark, a quiet, stubborn hope that refused to be extinguished. He wasn't going to let a missing leg define his future. In fact, he wore his smile like armor, greeting every new day with gratitude simply for being alive. For Tyler, it wasn't about what he had lost. It was about everything he still had: his heart, his dreams, and the unbreakable spirit that no accident could ever take away. Tyler's journey could have easily ended in bitterness. After losing his leg, after learning to live with the daily challenges of a wheelchair, it would have been understandable if he had closed himself off from the world. But somehow he didn't. Somehow he kept believing that better days were still ahead, even if he didn't know when or how they would arrive. That belief would be tested and ultimately rewarded one ordinary afternoon at a charity fundraiser. Tyler wasn't even planning to attend. He had been having a rough week, feeling the weight of everything he'd lost. But a friend convinced him to come, just to get out of the house, just to breathe different air for a while. That's when he met Emma. Emma was unlike anyone Tyler had ever known. She was volunteering at the registration booth, her hands moving quickly as she organized paperwork, her laugh lighting up the crowded room. When their eyes met, something clicked. Not in a dramatic movie-style moment, but something real, something steady, like the quiet beginning of a song you know will stay with you forever. At first, Tyler hesitated. He had grown used to the way people looked at him, the quick glances, the awkward smiles. He had learned how to read the subtle shift in body language when people noticed his wheelchair. But Emma didn't do any of that. She didn't glance away. She didn't pretend not to see. She just smiled, fully, genuinely, and introduced herself like he was just another person, not someone broken or different. They talked for hours that afternoon, about books, about music, about the kind of dreams that still lived quietly inside them both. Tyler found himself laughing, really laughing, in a way he hadn't in a long time. Emma didn't treat him like someone to be pitied. She didn't tiptoe around his past. Instead, she asked him real questions. She wanted to know the person behind the chair. For the first time in years, Tyler felt truly seen. Over the next few weeks, their connection deepened. Emma didn't shy away from the challenges Tyler faced. In fact, she leaned into them, walking alongside him with an ease that felt almost too good to be true. Tyler kept waiting for the moment when the reality of his situation would scare her away, but it never came. "Your wheelchair isn't what I see," Emma told him one evening under a starlit Texas sky. "I see you, your courage, your heart. That's what matters." In Emma, Tyler found a love that wasn't about perfection. It was about acceptance, about seeing someone's soul and saying, "You are enough, just as you are." And in loving Emma, Tyler began to heal in ways that no surgery, no therapy ever could. His heart, once battered by pain and loss, started to believe again, not just in the idea of love, but in the possibility of a future, more beautiful than he had ever dared to imagine. When you find a love like that, the kind that sees past every scar, every wound, you don't let it go. Tyler knew this. Emma had walked into his life and filled it with something he hadn't even realized he was missing, a sense of wholeness. With her, he wasn't the guy in the wheelchair. He wasn't a tragedy. He was just Tyler, stubborn, funny, fiercely alive. It didn't take long before Tyler realized he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. Not someday, not maybe in a few years. He wanted it now. Life had already taught him how fragile and unpredictable everything could be. When you love someone, truly love them, you don't waste time. One evening, after a late-night drive under the wide Texas sky, he pulled out a simple silver ring he had been carrying in his jacket pocket for days. His heart pounded. His palms were sweaty. But when he looked into Emma's eyes, he found the courage that had carried him through every storm. "I don't have much to offer," he said, voice trembling, "except everything I am. Will you marry me?" Emma didn't hesitate. Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, "Yes, 1,000 times, yes." From that moment, the countdown to their wedding began. Planning a wedding might be stressful for most couples, but for Tyler and Emma, it was something else entirely. A celebration of every obstacle they had overcome, a declaration to the world that love wasn't about perfect circumstances. It was about perfect faith in each other. They chose an outdoor vineyard in California, a place filled with rolling hills and golden sunsets, a place that felt wide and free, just like the love they shared. Emma insisted that everything be simple, honest and joyful. No grand spectacle, no endless fuss. Just them, surrounded by the people who had loved them through every hard season. Tyler, meanwhile, was plotting something in secret. As they picked out flowers and wrote their vows, Tyler began working closely with a physical therapist, pushing his body harder than he ever had before. His goal was simple: to stand beside Emma, not just metaphorically, but physically, tall and proud, when they exchanged their vows. Every evening after Emma went home, Tyler trained, balancing on his 6-pound carbon fiber prosthetic leg, sweating through the pain, fighting against every voice in his head that said it was impossible. This wasn't just about standing, it was about showing Emma and himself that love could make the impossible real. The wedding day was fast approaching, and Tyler kept his secret tucked close to his heart. He could already imagine the look on Emma's face. He could already hear the gasp from the crowd. He wasn't doing this because he had to. He was doing it because love, real love, was worth every ounce of strength he had left, and Tyler had never been more ready. The morning of the wedding arrived, crisp and golden. Tyler sat quietly in his room, the polished black wheelchair beside him. the carbon fiber prosthetic strapped firmly to his leg. His heart was pounding harder than it ever had before, not from fear, but from the anticipation of what was about to happen. He had dreamed about this moment for months, visualized it 1,000 times, and now it was real. Today, he wouldn't just pledge his love to Emma in words. He would show her, and everyone else, the full depth of what love could make possible. Outside, the vineyard buzzed with excitement. Friends and family filled. The rows of white chairs, the breeze carrying the scent of fresh flowers and sweet wine. Emma was getting ready in a small cottage nearby, completely unaware of the secret Tyler had so carefully guarded. As the ceremony began, Tyler rolled to his place at the altar, smiling and waving at familiar faces. Inside, though, every muscle in his body was tense, every nerve alive with adrenaline. The officiant welcomed everyone, his voice steady over the hum of the gathering crowd. Then came the moment Tyler had waited for, Emma's entrance. The music shifted, and there she was, stepping into view. Emma looked breathtaking, her simple white dress flowing behind her, her eyes locked on Tyler from the very first step. Tyler's throat tightened. She wasn't just beautiful. She was everything. Every hope, every fight, every broken moment he had survived, they had all led him here. As Emma reached the altar, standing just a few feet away, the officiant spoke the familiar words. "Ladies and gentlemen, please rise." And for the first time in over a decade, Tyler rose too. It wasn't smooth, it wasn't effortless. His body trembled slightly with the strain. But it didn't matter. He was standing, tall, proud, every inch a man refusing to be defined by what life had taken from him. The crowd gasped. Emma froze, her hand flying to her mouth. For a second, no one moved. No one breathed. Then Emma's eyes filled with tears. A smile broke across her face, radiant and overwhelmed all at once. She stepped forward, tears streaming down her cheeks, and threw her arms around Tyler. The vineyard exploded into applause, cheers rising like a wave across the open fields. Tyler clung to her, feeling every beat of his heart against hers. This was why he had fought. Not to prove anything to the world, but to give Emma this moment. To give them this memory that no hardship, no struggle would ever erase. As they stood there, locked in each other's arms, Tyler realized something deeper than he ever expected. Love wasn't just what had carried him to this moment. Love was what made him unstoppable. The moment Tyler stood was only the beginning. As Emma clung to him, still in disbelief, the officiant paused, giving them time to breathe, to exist in the miracle they had created together. The world around them faded into a blur. No sound, no movement, just the thundering beat of two hearts that had refused to give up. Tyler steadied himself on his prosthetic, one hand gripping Emma's, the other lightly resting against the edge of his chair for balance. The cheers from family and friends slowly softened into an awed silence. Everyone was waiting, holding their breath, not wanting to miss a second of what was happening. With a soft smile, Emma wiped the tears from her cheeks and squeezed Tyler's hand. They turned to face the officiant together, standing side by side. Tyler's body ached. Every muscle trembled with the effort. But he didn't care. He would have stood there for hours if it meant giving Emma this memory. The ceremony moved forward. They exchanged vows, raw, honest, beautifully imperfect. Tyler spoke first, his voice cracking with emotion, promising Emma a lifetime of laughter, of fierce loyalty, of walking beside her even when walking seemed impossible. Emma answered, her voice shaking, promising to love him through every mountain and every valley, through every storm and every sunrise. When the officiant finally said, "You may now kiss the bride," Tyler leaned forward, bracing himself, and kissed Emma with everything he had. The crowd erupted again, clapping, crying, shouting words of encouragement and joy. The sun dipped lower in the California sky, casting a golden glow over the vineyard, as if even nature itself was celebrating them. After the ceremony, as guests moved toward the reception, Tyler eased back into his chair with a satisfied sigh. His body was exhausted, but his spirit had never been stronger. Emma sat on his lap for a moment, resting her forehead against his. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. Tyler smiled. "I know, but I wanted to. For you. For us. Because that's what love does. It moves mountains. It builds bridges over the impossible. It stands up even when every reason says you can't." That day, Tyler and Emma didn't just get married. They rewrote the definition of love, showing everyone watching that real love isn't about perfect bodies or perfect circumstances. It's about seeing someone's soul, choosing them every day and believing in the impossible together. As the night faded into laughter and dancing, as stars blanketed the dark sky overhead, Tyler realized something even deeper than he ever had before. Love isn't just something that happens to you. Love is something you fight for, something you choose again and again, every single day. And when you do, when you stand up for love that stands up for you too, we would love to hear your thoughts on this incredible journey of love and resilience. What part of Tyler and Emma's story touched your heart the most was at the moment Tyler stood at the altar, defying every odd, or the way Emma looked at him, seeing not his challenges but his heart? Please share your feelings in the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from. We're building a global family of people who believe in the power of love, hope, and perseverance. Your stories matter too. Maybe you've faced challenges that seemed impossible. Maybe you've experienced a love that changed everything. We want to hear about it. Don't be shy. Your comment could inspire someone else who needs a little hope today. And if Tyler and Emma's story made you believe a little more in the impossible, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. We have so many more powerful stories coming your way. Let's keep the spirit alive. One story, one heart, one comment at a time.